How's it going? My name is John Armstrong. I'm the Director of Jazz Studies and Commercial Music at Idaho State University. What you heard me just do is called an alap. And essentially what it is it's a rubato improvisation over a drone. This kind of practice comes from North Indian classical music, where the sitar player, a sarod player, whoever the melodic instrument is at a North Indian classical concert, is going to play an extended rubato improvisation over a tanpura, which is a drone instrument in the music. And what they're doing with that alap is they're introducing the audience to the rag or scale that they're playing in, and they're also introducing the audience to the melody that they're about to play in time with the tabla player once they kick off the tune. Now, I used to love going to North Indian classical concerts. I studied a little bit of the music when I lived in Los Angeles, and I just thought that was such a cool concept and something that I've borrowed in my musical practice. And I've come to realize that practicing alaps is the most important thing that a young musician, or actually any musician who's still learning, which is all of us, can do to not only hone your improvisational ear, but also your compositional ear, right? Because what's happening every time you do an alap, and this is how I start my practice every single day. I turn on my drone, I turn on my Tanpura app, I'll tell you a good one at the end of this thing, and I just improvise over it. And what it does is it sets me for the day's practice. It shows me where I'm at. It allows me for some sort of creative outlet to start my practicing as opposed to jumping right into scales or etudes or whatever. And it allows my ears to warm up just as much as my horn warms up, right? And then when I go on and I start composing music, what I'm also doing is I'm really building my ear so that I can hear the melodies that are in my head. Now, it's my opinion that every human on earth hears awesome melodies when they walk around town. Like even someone who's not a musician at all, never picked up an instrument in their whole life, probably walks around hearing cool melodies in their head. Musicians, what we're good at is we need to be able to tap that natural resource that exists latent inside of us, and that's through practice, we develop our inner ear so that we can hear everything in our head, and then we know exactly what notes are going to do. And I think this alap practice is the best way to get there. So now I'm going to show you how I do my alap practice every day. So what I do is I turn on my Tanpura app, and you can see it there. It's called Dhwani Tanpura, D-H-W-A-N-I. It's a free app. You can get it on Androids, iPhones, whatever. Dhwani Tanpura. And Tanpura remembers the instrument. So what it does is it mimics the sound of the instrument. Tanpura sounds like that. It's a stringed instrument. In a classical concert, they would be plucking it, root 5 root. But what it is it's like these cool waves of the roots and the fives, and you kind of get into that meditative state, you're listening to it. And then what I do to start my practice is I start by singing, and I start by singing in solfege, and I improvise a solo in solfege. I'm going to do it for you right now. Sol, la, sol, la, sol. La, sol, fa, mi, so, re. Mi, so, re, do, ti, do, re. Re, mi, so, re. Mi, so, re, do, ti, do, re, ti, la, sol. And so on and so forth, right? So I'm doing that for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes until I really start feeling these melodic phrases coming out of my body, coming out of my ears, so they're just right out there. And I'm trying to get to, like I said before, this meditative state. I'm trying to get to this nice improviser state so that all these melodies, I don't have to think about them, they're just kind of coming out. And so what I do is after I've been singing for a while, is then I'll grab my horn. It's normally easier than that. And as I sing, I transfer all of my vocal stuff to my saxophone. And again, what we're doing is we're working on our inner ear, and we're working on the ability to play exactly what we hear, and that is the essence of a master improviser. And as I'll talk about in a second, it's also the essence of a master composer. Sol, la, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, sol, re. La, sol, fa, mi, sol, re. Mi, sol, re, do, ti, re, do, sol. And after I've done that for a while, then I'm just playing, but I hope you can hear, I'm going to do just about 20 seconds. You can hear that I'm singing in my head, and essentially what I'm doing is I'm transcribing myself in real time when I'm playing my horn. So you could hear how I was hearing everything that I was playing. And that's what the master improvisers do, is they can hear everything they're playing on the spot. They're transcribing themselves live. They're singing through their horn. Whether it's Wycliffe Gordon, Louis Armstrong, Miles Davis, John Coltrane. What makes them masters isn't that they learned the secret bebop scale or that Lydian dominant's going to conquer all the worlds. It's that they can audiate and perfectly, not even perfectly, you're gonna mess up a couple notes here and there, but they can really sing everything that they're hearing through their horn. And so working on that inner ear is the most important thing you can do as an improviser. And as you could imagine, it's the most important thing you can do as a composer. Because if you're writing melodies, you want to be able to hear everything, get to the piano, get to the guitar, get to your instrument, and be able to play the things that you're hearing. Right? And that's it. So you got to learn your bebop skills, you got to play your etudes, you got to transcribe all your solos, but you also have to work on your inner ear, or else you don't have any personality. You don't have any life to your solos. You know what I'm saying? You're just playing a bunch of rote. You're playing a bunch of stuff that someone's already taught you. You're just regurgitating. You know what I mean? You have to find out who your artist personality is. And on top of that, I kind of talked about this before, but if you practice this alap kind of thing over a drone, over a tempura, you're also practicing how to be in that state, that improviser's state, that composer's state, that creator's state. Some people call it flow state. And you're practicing a state of being as much as you're practicing all of your notes and scales. And if you can create from a real beautiful place, some four square base, like grounded, a pure state, we're talking like, meditative state of consciousness. If you're there every time you pick up your instrument, then everything that comes out is pure. And everything that is happening on stage with you, with the rhythm section, with the band and everything, that's coming through you, right? I bet a lot of you experience that. You stand up for a solo and you experience like tunnel vision, you know what I mean? And then you get kind of nervous up there and you don't know what to do and you like rely on all the licks that you learn. But no, if you practice being in this really like flow state, this real meditative place, then all of that input around you on stage, all of that energy, you can channel it better, like a great judo master. You know what I mean? I'm going to do one more demonstration over a B-flat blues. And hopefully what I'm going to demonstrate is how all this work over alaps and working on your inner ear, audiating and being able to achieve that, manifest these melodies in real time, transcribe yourself right on the spot, kind of leads to more sophistication as a soloist, more direction and focus as a soloist. So I'm just going to play over this B-flat blues, and I'm just going to alternate between playing and singing, right? Move it over, move it over, move it over, so forth. When you play over tunes and you can really sing what you're playing, when you can sing the notes in between while you're still kind of fingering them on the piano, on the saxophone, that's when you're really reaching that state as an improviser where you're bending the tune to your will. You know what I mean? You're not just like adhering to the changes and like hoping that the tune respects you. No, you're like, this is what I want to do with the tune. You're in charge. Same thing with like standards. And the same thing as a composer. You're not just like, oh, here's these things that I hope work out. You're like, no, I hear it. And if you hear it, if you truly hear it, then it's correct. And it's really that simple. So it may seem like eating your vegetables or doing core workout or leg day, you know what I mean, to be doing this alap improvisation. But I'll tell you from years of experience, it has improved my inner ear to such a tremendous degree. It's made me a better composer. It's made me a more confident musician. I think it's one of the most important things you could do to flourish as a creative musician of any kind, right? I hope you have fun. If you have any questions about this, you want to hang out, like ask any questions, hang out on Zoom, come to Pocatello, have a little jam session. Easy to find me. John Armstrong. I teach at Idaho State University. And congratulations on the Boise State University Jazz Festival. And I hope you all have a really wonderful week. Take care.